Are you tired of seeing the same old things in stores? Maybe you want to give your friends and family something unique, or you just don't want to spend the money this year. Why don't you give them a tie-dye t-shirt? Now, we all know the history on tie-dye in America. Everyone wanted to show their individuality and kind of rebel in the 1960s and 70s during the Vietnam War. However, less people know that also tie-dye was going on in other parts of the world as well. For instance, in India and the Far East, tie-dye happens, but in other ways. The women who make tie-dye, and men, they use their fingernails to pull little bits of the fabric up and then bind them with cotton to make little dots, and that's their version of tie-dye. It's called bandana. And in Japan, they tie-dye their kimonos. So although America is better known for their tie-dye, they're not the only ones who do it. So, if you're wanting to tie-dye a t-shirt, you have to make sure that you follow your instructions very carefully. You want to make sure that you have a flat surface that doesn't have a lot of stuff on it, and you need to cover it with a trash bag or newspapers to make sure the dye doesn't get on something you don't want it to get on. Then, you need to fill your bottle with water to make sure that the dye gets nice and dissolved. Then you shake it up, making sure your finger's covering the top. You don't want any dye anywhere else, and get it all nice and dissolved. Then, you need to look on your instructions and pick a design. You have the swirl, the bullseye, and the scrunch. You can even get on YouTube or other parts of the internet if you want something a little bit more exciting or challenging. And once you've picked your design, you then form your shirt, you bunch it up in different parts, and then you tie it with rubber bands to make sure that it's nice and secure. Like so. Once you have that done, you then spray your dye on different parts of the shirt, and you can do different colored dyes, or you can just pick one. It's really up to you. The opportunities are really endless. And once you've done that, and you feel that all the parts of your shirt are nice and covered with dye, very saturated, you then go and you get a plastic bag of some sort, and you put your shirt inside of it. Make sure it's nice and snug in there, so that it's nice and damp. Now, you want to let it sit for 6 to 8 hours, so that it retains all of the dye. Because back in the old days, their dye, it didn't stay in very long. They had a lot of problems with it fading out in a couple of washes. We don't want that to happen now. So, you let it sit for 6 to 8 hours. It's going to get nice and deep colors. And once that's done, you then put it in the washing machine on hot. With a little stove, make sure it gets nice and clean. And after that, you put it in the dryer, you hang it up, and you have yourself a tie-dye t-shirt. Now, you don't have to just tie-dye a t-shirt. You can tie-dye anything, really. You can tie-dye totes, a sheet. You can tie-dye towels. You can go crazy. I mean, as long as it's safe to tie-dye, you can tie-dye anything, and you can mix the colors. Like I said, the opportunities are endless, and it's inexpensive, it's fun, and it's not very messy. It's a lot of fun, and you can be creative with it, and people love them. It's a great stocking stuffer, to be honest. So, hopefully my demonstration has explained pretty clearly to you how to tie-dye a t-shirt properly, and now you can go and tie-dye your own shirt. Well, my sources are createbasics.com, where you can go and look at designs and find the perfect one for you, and tie-dye.us/tie-dye-history. Thank you.